Welcome to another edition of 42 Straight Years In. On my crackhead update, I just left 7-Eleven about 3 hours ago, and I was sitting in the car smoking a cigarette. I saw this guy walk up. He walked way over to the other side of the parking lot where I'm at. He didn't do no talking, he just made the sign for a cigarette. So I took out 2 cigarettes, rolled the window down, and handed them to him. He walked away about 20 feet, standing there like he was thinking about something. He's smoking a cigarette. I said, well, I better drive off, because he saw how easy that was. He said, well, this guy might give me something else. So I politely drove off on him. Yeah, on my way to the 7-Eleven, remember in previous videos I was talking about this lady who's sleeping at the bus stop. Well, she was back at the bus stop this morning. And as I was driving by, Dallas police was going over there running all away from the bus stop. I ain't been outside and checked on her to see if she's still there. But most likely he gave her a warning. Next time I come through, you better disappear. I'm going to write you a ticket. So I don't know how that's going to work out for her. For the life of me, I can't understand why a homeless person want to hang over here in East Dallas. There's nothing over here for homeless people. They don't have no shelters. I don't know of no place over here that give you food. You got to go to basically South Dallas for that. They over there all day long passing out. There's some people come through and feed you breakfast. There's certain restaurants you go to, they give out free meals every day. You got resources over there. You got places you can shower. I know of 3 places you can take you a good shower in South Dallas. I know 2 of them that provide clean clothes and underwear and feed you. There's no resources over here. So if you were homeless, why you would want to be in East Dallas, I can't understand it. And for my subscribers who contacted Bernadette Dover Lee, the guy that I was talking about, he's been incarcerated 25 years for a crime he didn't commit. Well, you people are sending him emails through JPay. He cannot respond. Texas prison system haven't set it up through JPay for inmates to respond via email. So you got to send him an address, and he got to use snail mail in order to respond to your email. Now, they allow inmates to receive an email, but they cannot send the email. They claim they got a system they're going to put in place where inmates can email to the outside, but as of now, they don't have that system in place. So if you're interested in receiving a response from him, you got to send him an address where he can write you back. And I speaks on Willie quite often. Now, I just did a post confirming some of the things that he be saying. Now, one day he told me, he said, man, his case got overturned by the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals for insufficiency of evidence. That means he was cut straight or loose. That's how he got out of prison. He had a life sentence. He was just in numbers, but he still was a life sentence. And he said one day while he was after he was recruited by the space program and the Martians, they were teaching him how to fly a spaceship. He said he flew over the Ramsey unit. He said, man, I could see you out there in the fields working in that hot sun. I seen, oh Lord. So I said, man, I got to help my boys out, man. He said, y'all don't remember y'all was out there working and all of a sudden it got cool, shade come over. He said, that was a spaceship. He said, I was providing shade where y'all won't be so hot. He said, but I asked the Martian to let me shoot old Lord. They said, no, that's not part of your training. He said, that's the only reason I didn't shoot old Lord. He said, but I was looking right at you. I waved at you. He said, I saw you glance, but you couldn't see me because we were flying so fast. Another trial and tribulation of Lion Willie. Yeah, come join me over on Patreon. The link will be in the description. When I finish this video, I got to do my Patreon. And we're going to do a little Oh Lord, and I'm going to touch on quite a few more topics. But I got to do that on Patreon. It's impossible for me to do Oh Lord on a regular YouTube channel. I will receive a strike. They already have warned me. I can't do it. Now, if I can't use the actual context and language that this man used, that take away from the whole story. He didn't talk nice. Texas prison wasn't a nice place to be. It wasn't nothing nice there. It wasn't friendly there. They didn't have no groups on the outside looking out for inmates. Man, stuff had been going on in those prisons for years and years. Nobody cared about inmates, not back in the day. You was at the mercy of the prison administration. They did not allow newspaper reporters, television reporters, radio. They didn't allow none of those people at a prison unit. So nobody could get the gist of what was going on the inside, because they censored inmates' mail real tough. Unless you got a visit and talk to your family, they was never going to know what was going on the inside. And it's sad to say, most guys do not receive visits. Nobody comes to see them. You got maybe 75% don't even get a letter. Once you get incarcerated, it seems like everybody forget about you. Some guys have noticed that in the county jail. You get sent to the county jail, nobody sends you money up there. Even your so-called gang homeboys and all that, they don't send you anything. You on your own. You basically on your own. So you can live in that fantasy world if you want to. But when you go to face reality, there's going to be a hard knock upside your head. I see a lot of guys, man, like during holidays, that's a bad time in the institution. A lot of guys, man, you can see the sadness, wishing they was on the outside. The simple things that people enjoy on the outside, you don't get to enjoy. Unless you got you a plug or somebody smuggled it into you. You know, simple things like you might have an urge to chew some juicy fruit chewing gum. You can't get it unless you got a hookup, because they don't sell it. They been stopped selling chewing gum. They said the inmates was putting the chewing gum in the locking mechanism. So they stopped selling it. There's no chewing gum in a Texas prison. I mentioned once in one video about Wildcat, who was the warden of the Ramsey unit, coming in the inmate dining room, sitting down eating with the inmates. Sure, his inmate guards posted up all around this dining room. But this man, he's not afraid of inmates at all. He is not afraid of no inmates. He's just as violent, or way more violent, than the inmates are. And a person know if you took him some weak game, there's going to be serious consequences. Because he was an unpredictable man. He might be just smiling and haul off and break your jaw. Just on the spur of the moment because you said the wrong thing. He did not like crybabies. He's not even going to entertain that. They show you the difference in a Texas prison. Now, if you went in front of a prison warden, any one of them administrators, ranking supervisor, probably just a regular guard, depends on what prison you're at, and you would say to his face, hey, I'm going to assault this guy, like a lot of guys won't get rid of cell partners. So they'll go and say, man, I need me a new cell partner. They'll say, we don't put inmates in the cell for convenience purposes. They try to place you by age and size. Within 10 years of your age, I think in about 50 pounds of your weight. They don't want to put a guy weigh 140 in with a guy weigh 250. They try to match it up by size. But that's deceptive. Some guys come from the county jails, he been on drugs and stuff, he might be weighing 160. After he got in prison and working out and eating 3 meals a day, now he weighed 235. He's not the same size guy anymore. And if you would stand there and tell one of these modern wardens, well, I'm just going to kill my cell partner. I know how to do this. If you would say that, they're finna file a disciplinary report on you for threatening an inmate, and you being taken to pre-hearing detention, and you receive a level 1 disciplinary. You can't even say that to no warden. I don't care what that inmate did to you. They don't try to hear it nowadays. Like one guy, he already been executed. He was at the Telford unit. Young guys, there's a lot of young guys at Telford unit. He went in his cell and stole his cell partner and his personal property. He waited a couple of days, called him early in the morning at breakfast, and he killed one of them. He received the death penalty. He already been executed. Come on, that's pitiful. What is he supposed to do? If you would have went and told the supervisor, went up to the desk and told the sergeant, first you're going to have a problem getting to the desk. You go up there and hit the speaker. They got a speaker in every day room. You push the button on the speaker. First you got to get that female up in the picket to answer. She might just sit there and look at you crazy. Now while you doing this, all the inmates is standing right there looking at you. They're going to hear everything you say. You can't whisper it. You talking over a PA system. Say, hey, I need the sergeant. She gonna say, what do you need to see the sergeant for? Well, guy just robbed me and stole all my stuff. She say, let me call up there and check. Depends on who the sergeant is. He might say, I'll be down there later. Now, what you supposed to do? Then once you did that, they know you ain't gonna fight. They're gonna do it again. That's gonna be a regular routine. They're gonna let you accumulate commissary items, come back again, and steal your property again. They're going to continuously do it. You move to another housing area, well, it depends on your custody level. Some custody, you at minimum custody, it's very rare you're going to see anybody stealing. Then it varies from prison to prison. Some inmates don't allow, they don't allow thieves. It depends on the prison, but all the prisons that house a lot of young guys, they got that type of drama going on. At any prison got a lot of youngsters, you're going to have a lot of problems there. You just look at them on the outside and just imagine what they'll be in a maximum security prison serving 50, 60, 99-year sentence. You can just imagine what he's like there. Now, if that would have been under Wildcat, there's several ways you could have handled that. First, the inmate guards would have took care of it. Man, you got caught for stealing. Man, they're going to beat you to death, man. Now, if it was your cell partner, I've seen this quite often. Cell partner messing with his cell partner's property. Open up some of his food without his permission. And he don't say anything to the inmate guards. He catch Bear or Wildcat in the hallway and walk up and tell him, hey, my cell partner's stealing my stuff. He'll say, what the hell you telling me for? He'll tell you, go back and do him. That's what he gonna say. Go back and do him. He said, do him while I'm here. He giving you the green light. Do anything you want to this fool. And, so he had some good points. And he had some bad points. But prison is a bad place. He just didn't cater to weakness. And then Texas prison basically was like that, except about 3 prisons where it was kind of calm. Was the Walls unit, the Diagnostic unit, which is the Bird unit, and the Wind unit. They wasn't gonna allow no violence in none of those places. Any violence, they're gonna transfer you out to one of the violent prisons, where you're gonna work like a Hebrew slave. At those prisons, it's easy there, easy going. But got a lot of factories. They got field work, but it's very minimal. Now they'll send you to one of them plantations where they got something for you. They're gonna work you from sun up to sundown. And then the violence level go increase. You will find some gangsters there. You may have been at the Walls unit and thought you was a gangster. You get sent to one of the prisons way out in the boondocks, you're gonna meet some real gangsters. You're going to think you on until you meet some real ones. But he had a lot of good points, that he liked inmates to have privileges. A modern warden, no privileges. Man, you just do straight time. Go to rec. Rec is over with. Back to the living quarters. That's it. No, it's no act. They got a lot of church activities go on. But under his program, when you got in, you could gamble. You wanted to get drunk, you can do that. You wanted to box, you can do that. You want to lift weights, you can do it. You didn't have to get the inmate guard's permission to do it. You could go to the gym and watch a modern movie that just came out. You could go to the band room, listen to them jam. They had a country and western band, a rock and roll band, an R&B band, 2 Hispanic bands. They had a blues band. You can sit in there and listen at the guys jam. You had activities. Now there's no activities. Now what they do have is a better college program. But you got to jump through hoops to get in the college program. They done took away a lot of the courses. Man, it'd almost take you 4 years to get an associate degree because they didn't want to pay those professors, so they took away a lot of classes. Where at Ramsey was a big college prison. You could earn all the way up to a PhD at the Ramsey unit. They had an associate degree program, a bachelor degree program, a master degree program, and a doctorate program. The Wynn unit has the same thing. The Walls unit has the same thing. Now, inmates back then didn't participate in college that much. I could understand why, man. We went to college at night. Now, if you go to college in a Texas prison, that is considered a job. That's all you got to worry about is your college class. You ain't got to worry about going to the laundry. You ain't got to worry about going in the kitchen to work. That is your job right there. Back then, they didn't even play that. You was going to the fields and work and go to college at night after work is over with. So a lot of guys didn't want to do that, man. And you wasn't in good physical shape. Man, that was going to kill you, man. Everybody ain't in top physical shape. I kind of had advantage. I was young, and I played sports. I played basketball. And likewise, I was on the basketball team, so occasionally they'd give me a break for basketball practice. I don't have to go to work that particular day. We travel in a unit playing other prisons. All the southern prisons play each other. Then we have a championship game, and we play the northern prisons for the championship of Texas prison system. They had a softball team. They had a volleyball team. Man, they ain't got none of that now. And then the young guys can't organize anything. It's several situations where we didn't organize a work stoppage, and we was under way more serious physical threat than they would be now. Now they ain't even gonna assault you. We didn't know if they were gonna shoot us. We don't know if they're gonna hang us in the solitary. We don't know what's gonna happen. But across all racial lines, we would join together. These young fools ain't gonna do nothing. They keep drama going, and people always tell me about games. Hey, bring up this game. Talk about that. Man, they ain't doing nothing, man. They only helping their homeboys. They ain't helping the general inmate population at all. Ain't nothing they do help the regular population. It's all about them. When they get their drugs in, it's all about making money for their homeboys. It don't benefit the rest of the inmates. So they ain't my favorite topic. When I came to Texas prison, it was every man for himself. Now, if you was cool with guys from your hometown, in certain situations, they would look out for you. Certain situations. But they didn't consider themselves no gang at all because they didn't even lie. You got to remember one thing, the guards were inmates. You might could fool a guard, but you can't fool this guy got a life sentence just like you, standing right, listening at you talk, look at who you associate with. He can figure it out real fast. And wasn't no gangs in a Texas prison. None whatsoever. It was every man for himself, and everybody got treated bad. If you want to consider it bad, but that's how the Texas prison was ran. Guys didn't know no other way. Little did we know it was going to change. We couldn't even see the change coming. In 1979, they got rid of Wildcat. They took his warden job and made him the manager of the Southern Agriculture. Because during that Ruiz versus Estelle lawsuit, his name was the #1 warden coming up for all the violence. So they eased him out of the warden position. But we got another warden named T.D. Durbin. He wasn't quite as violent as Wildcat, but he didn't stop no violence. He was like more like a scholar. Ramsey still ran smooth, still the food was good, but he was not violent like Wildcat. Wildcat do the violent like himself. Well, this warden would. He still had the inmate guards, turnkeys. They still were beating people up, but we couldn't see the change. Some of those guys been in prison since 30s and 40s and 50s. They ain't never known it no other way. We couldn't see no change, but little did we know it was going to change. And we weren't even prepared for the change. We lose the inmate guards and we get replaced with gang members. Dudes say, damn, we just left the inmate guard. Now here these fools is want to run something. As quiet as it kept, regular inmates is the cause of gang members getting locked up. They were complaining to their families, hey, we got these fools here trying to run stuff, so they didn't have no problem. Plus, violence was all over the place. Uncontrollable violence. That's what got those guys locked up. Okay, enough ranting and raving. Y'all keep your shanks ready, and let's get ready to ride. Y'all follow me over on Patreon, where I can bug out. Like and subscribe, and I thank you for watching.